Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. I hope you all have an amazing day. We're starting off, we have the white pieces against a 1767 from Canada. So we have a Sicilian here. Now we could go for a Portsmouth Gambit. We play our usual knight f3. We'll see what they do. Ooh, a hyper-accelerated dragon. Now, ideally I wouldn't have played knight f3 if I was knowing we were going against the dragon. So we'll play our usual sort of anti-Sicilian setup. We'll play a c3, similar to an Alpin. And I say this a lot, but I love c3 as a move, as white generally. I think it's just such a cool move. You're freeing up so many things, and it immediately preps d4. Which I think is really the whole point of the Sicilian. And there's no reason not to. I think bishop g2 with g3 first is a good idea. I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet, so I think probably the best move is to just go ahead and play d4 while we still can. Basically, while we still can. Not that that would have stopped us, I don't think. Anyway, and we still don't have to do anything against this. So we just have the center here. I think we can just continue developing as normal. We can go bishop to e3 if we absolutely have to. But to be honest, I'd rather play like an e5. And just try make this bishop a bit bad. Really, make the bishop a bit bad. When they've played an early fianchetto like this, of course it's not a bad move. It's the hyper-accelerated dragon. Everyone knows it. But you want to try and make life hard for it, basically. You want to try and make life hard. And they've gone for this two-knight sort of setup. They've not committed anything in the center yet. Which means we're probably just continue developing, to be honest. I mean, nothing's under attack. Like, we get the bishop out, castles. And at some point, they're going to have to do something in the middle. Ideally, we would get them to play e5. Although I think them playing a d6 is a very real opportunity for them. I don't think once the bishop's on c4 they have any d5 ideas. They could do any e6, but maybe we'd go with an e5 at that point. I'm not quite sure. But bishop c4 is it's just standard, really, you know. And this is what I don't like about the dragon lines, you know, the accelerate, the hyper accelerated, the regular. I don't know how to probe them. They've not made any commitments in the center yet. I'm struggling. I always struggle when people aren't playing central moves, because the central moves are what defines a pawn structure, really. So I think we just castle. And we're waiting, basically. We're waiting. We'll keep developing. However necessary. Whatever we have to do. Whoa. Nice little trick there. Nice little trick. That's fine, though. It's not winning a pawn, because we can always take the d pawn or take the f pawn. I don't think we would take the f pawn. That gives their rook too much activity. Is there any intermezzos we can do? So I think knight takes is probably just the way to go. And then a d5. We have the isolated pawn. I didn't see that at all. I mean, it's still fine. You know, it's just trading off pieces. They're still not winning our d pawn just yet. I think we just take the knight. d5. d5, we can do a few things. We could drop back and not take the pawn. Or we just take the pawn. And after queen takes, knight back to c3. And we're still not losing this pawn. We go bishop e3. And we're playing with an isolated queen pawn, which is fine. You know, we know what to do. Ideally, we wouldn't have so many pieces traded off. But you know, it's still completely fine. We just need to play it properly, and luckily we know sort of how to play with an isolated queen pawn. It's not a structure I get a lot of the time. You know, it's it's sort of rare for me to get one, but we will see. We will see. I think d5 here is probably a good move. Although bishop takes knight, pawn takes. Yeah, that's surely a good move. In fact, is it? Knight back to b4 is a good move. So what White's plan is, they want to blockade this pawn. So they have the bishop pair, which will blockade it. They want to play e6 though. So their bishop's going to be a bit trapped behind, which is going to be good for us. So they would have to get it out this way, which isn't really doing anything. And they have a knight. So what you want to use a knight's for in the isolate queen pawn is to blockade the pawn. Because the knights can go back and still control it, you know. That's the whole point. And they can jump in front and all that. So we need to stop the knight getting there. We want to get them to play e6, sorry. And we want to keep the pieces on the board. So that's our grand idea, I guess. Rook e1. Sure. It's still... We're losing the pawn, actually. We're losing the pawn. We Aye. Okay. We meant to go bishop e3 there. I literally said we go in bishop e3 to secure the pawn. And I didn't listen. In fact, actually, that's super interesting because we win the e-pawn. Ooh, in fact, have I just done an accidental cool move? Aye. Oh, God, it's a nightmare. This game does my head in. Does my head in. So the idea is knight takes, bishop takes. We could even go bishop to e3 here is interesting. Or knight b5 is also interesting. Wow, super cool moves. Knight b5 I think looks pretty cool. Threatening the bishop. We're threatening bishop h6 with the fork here as well, which is really cool. We want to trade off. Whoa. Surely not. That can't be right. Okay. I don't think that looks right to me. So I think we probably throw in bishop h7. Yeah, bishop h7 is a really good move here. Get the rook over there. Knight takes, queen takes, queen takes. And then there. The other idea is pawn takes, though, which is a bit annoying because queen takes, you've got back rank problems. No, but you've not, actually. So you just win the pawn back. So you throw in this cheeky move. Get the rook onto this e-file. Takes, rook takes is pinned. So you win the pawn back straight away. And then you're in an opposite coloured bishop endgame. So we're chilling a bit. I just didn't think that looked like a particularly nice move. Bishop takes is an idea. At which point bishop b1. Queen takes, this rook takes. And then the rook and bishop are both hanging. So I think you go up the exchange for a pawn. So that's 2 pawns down for the exchange, which is interesting, at least, you know. Very interesting. But we will see. We'll see what they do. I don't think there's many other moves. Oh, this got very complicated very quickly. And to be honest, like, hanging the pawn isn't... I mean, you're obviously down a pawn, but, like, it's also a weak pawn. So they decide to sack the piece instead. What? They decide to sack the piece instead for some reason. I don't know. I genuinely have zero idea of why they've done that. You're looking for that. Okay. Okay, quite clever. But we get the pawn back, so... Yeah, I think we just go back to G1. We don't want to have any sorts of checks on F1. I don't want to be weakening our pawn structure. So we just get this pawn back. Either that or they've sacked a piece for 2 pawns, which is still playable for them. And it's very interesting. Yeah, so I think we just grab this piece. I don't see why we can't. And it's just game on, you know. We're still... What, are we down a pawn here? Yeah, because they sacked here. We're down a pawn. They're underdeveloped. I don't know why I drew my queen to go to c3. I was thinking queen d4. And potentially look for some back rank ideas. Here is interesting. Bishop e6, knight c7. Ooh. Knight c7, rook a d8. Queen e2. Rook d2 is really annoying, so it'll be queen e1. Yeah, then bishop c4, b3, bishop a6. The knight's almost trapped, actually. Takes. The annoying thing is the queen can block the checks on the dark squares. No, but we just take this bishop. Yeah. Let's go for that. It's dodgy. It's very dodgy, but this whole game is very dodgy as well. So we're living life on the edge here. Who cares? And we are more active. So that's what we've got going for us. We're more active. And I know a thing or two about activity, you know. We're trying to make a weakness on the e-pawn. As long as we keep our king in check. Not in check, out of check, I guess is the word. We should be okay. Yes, we go queen e1. Threatening takes. Knight takes as well, and then we win the pawn is a thing. I don't think they could really stop this. Bishop to e1. I would even be tempting of doing takes. Check maybe, but I don't think that works. There's no way that works. It would be nice, but it's a bit of a fantasy world. We probably just free up our knight at that point and look for like checks this way. That would be quite cool. Bishop back just blocks in your rooks. And we just keep developing, I guess. Maybe not c1 because the queen's there, and then our queen's tied down to defending that. Oh, this is dubious. This is very dubious. I don't like the dragon. It's so annoying. It's just so deceptively simple. Like, if you don't know the theory, it's such a weird position, and it's a position I sort of like, is this one, because it's so piece heavy. There's not many pawns. But also we're down a pawn, so you know we have to sort of force some sort of exciting traps, tricks, whatever tactics, and try win it that way. And they are thinking a bit. So maybe we've got them a bit on the ropes here. We'll see. We will see. We'll try our best. 11 minutes now, so I mean, I still I think you've got to keep the bishop on this diagonal, right? Either... Yeah. Nice. I like that. At which point, I think we just go d5 here. 95. And we look for some checks on the dark squares, because those are the weaknesses. They've traded off their dark squared bishop and have these dark squared holes around the king. So we want to try and make the most of these. The knight check, then we throw in maybe a queen c3 intermezzo, look for some nasty discovered checks, and try play it that way. We also could trade off the bishop if we really wanted to, but that doesn't look particularly appetizing, especially with the queen still on the board. The knight versus bishop, when you have dark squared holes, it's probably better to keep the knight on, just so you've got something that can probe these weaknesses. And they could mess it up pretty easily here, you know, like a rook e8, you know. Obviously I would just take that with the rook rather than throwing in an f6 check, but you know what I mean. There are plenty of ways they could slip up here. That is a interesting one. Oh, it doesn't look right at all, does queen g7? I mean, you plug in the dark squares, I guess, but it doesn't look very natural. There's got to be something right. What about a h4, h5? Then we're not really taking that. Then we can throw in a check, I guess. We can throw in a check. It's not an ideal position. I'll say that. I will say that. I mean, we could go like a queen e3. They're still not really threatening anything. Queen e3 looks decent. We're cutting off the queen's escape to h6. So if they ever try kickers, we have a queen e6. Which doesn't really do anything immediately, but there are some potential tactics. We triple up, you know, and then we're never getting kicked from here. Everything's pretty much on a dark square apart from this knight, which isn't really getting kicked anyway. So potentially we're doing okay. Potentially, you know, it's a very loose potentially, but there is some potential here. And we still have some stuff with the queen maneuvers on these two squares. We're hitting the a7 pawn, so that's an immediate threat for them. Tripling up, even rook f1 could be quite nice. With the idea of check, king h8. Okay, yeah, I like that for them. I like that for them, getting some space. Rook f1, get hit by the bishop, knight check, king over. Knight h5. Queen goes somewhere, I guess. Yeah, the problem is the queen can come to d4 and pin our queen because it's covered by the rook. That's annoying. Rook f1, knight f6, king there. Where can you check this king? You can't really. Rook e1 doesn't really do much for us. What about rook f2? Is interesting. Or even a rook f4 is equally as interesting. Looking to go on h4. Maybe throw in a check first. That's actually quite interesting. I like it. Bishop there, rook f4, something. Knight f6, king over. Knight there. Queen back, I guess. Bishop there, knight f4, something, check, 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 king over, rook over, maybe, queen takes, doesn't work, surely not. So maybe like a knight there, pawn takes, rook takes. With some weird ideas. Let's go for that. Sure. Why not? Why not? Why the heck not? Why the heck not? I don't see anything wrong. We've even got ideas of knight d7 with a takes. Is interesting. If the queen wasn't there, the queen's been very, very annoying, unfortunately. The queen is being super annoying. Then again, queen c3 takes, queen takes, checkmate. Ooh! Ooh! Quite fancy. Quite fancy if I do say so myself. It all relies on moves, though. We've got to have these moves. They've got to give us time. They've got to give us the time. So their queen's a bit boxed in. They're struggling to move either of these. Very much struggling to move either of these. So maybe we have a bit of time. They've boxed themselves in a bit. So I'm not completely upset, to be honest. Not completely upset. I could be more upset with this position, but it's playable, I guess. Ay. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? I should start playing boring stuff because it's just I'm going grey. I'm losing my hair. You know, it's it's aging me like 5 times as fast as playing this stupid stuff. Just stressful. Just stressful. At least our time management seems okay. 23 moves in, 6 minutes on the clock. They're spending almost as much time as us. So, you know, the clock is a part of the game. You never know. You never know. We can only see. They're down to 7 minutes now. So, are they going to do a move? Hopefully they will. Hopefully they won't, actually. Why do I want them to be making moves? I want them to run out of time. I want them to run out of time very much so. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video. It was a bit of a weird one. A nice game, I'm pretty sure. I've forgotten what the opening was, to be honest. It was a while ago. It was a whole day ago. But anyway, I've been trying my hand at creating some puzzles. You know, I've always sort of wanted to do it. I've never thought I would be able to do it. I've been giving it a go. I was talking to some guys at the club last night, and they were giving me a hand. I think I've got one done, hopefully. I need some feedback on it though, and potentially that could be Wednesday's lesson is making puzzles. We'll see. We will see. Or maybe I'll just walk you through my puzzles. I'm not sure. But I'm going for mating twos because I've got a little calendar and it's a puzzle a day calendar that's all mating twos and they are ridiculously hard. The annoying thing about mating twos is that if your opponent can block a check, it's not going to be a mating two because you have to capture it and then is going to be mate after that, so it's going to be like a mating three or something, which makes them really, really annoying and quite tough to make actually. Rather than just having a nice sequence, you've got to make sure it's a mating two. So yeah, and it's weird in the way you make them as well because you've got to sort of work backwards. Like you start off with the knockout final blow, and you work backwards from there, which is tough on the brain. I'm so glad that computers exist because I would not be able to do it without computers. But it's gonna be a blast, you know. And I've got 2 more to make. I'm trying to get 3 for this little competition. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I managed to make 2 more. I have a spark of inspiration or something. And they have spent a few more minutes on this move, you know. They're down to 4.5 minutes. We do have increment on this, so it's not particularly worrying. I think they just want to be accurate. But then again, they're in a bit of a pickle. They're a pawn down, but they have very few moves, which is super interesting for them. Super, super interesting. And they are still thinking because it's not gone to like a auto resign sort of thing. So they are playing around and stuff, which is good. Good to show they're thinking rather than just giving up or whatever. But yeah, it's super cool. You'll see my rating shop a bit as well. I've been playing a bit of Rapid on my own, not crazy amounts. But we're almost at the 1800 mark, which will be a brilliant target, to be fair. I'm not sure if I might have been there before. Not quite sure. Definitely not in a long time. But it's going to be a celebration. A bit of a celebration. And we're on 125 subscribers, which is beyond mind-blowing. So thank you all so much for that. It means the world to me. And I'll hopefully keep pumping out videos because you guys seem to watch them for some reason. I'm not sure what entices you to watch them, but hopefully you are enjoying them. I will keep making them regardless. So, you know, I'll always be here. Again, they're down to 3 whole minutes here. 3 whole minutes. So every minute they spend, you know, our odds are getting better and better. We've got them in a bit of a bind. I wonder what their magnificent plan is. I think maybe even an F5 could potentially work well. But then, whoa! Whoa! Rook takes D5. Going down the exchange once again. Wowzer. I mean, we're going to take that no matter what, aren't we? We got to get the rook onto D2 and just live it up. We're down, what, 2 pawns for the exchange, so we're even material. But, man, this is easier to play for us, you know. We triple up even, and it's... Whew, yeah, I'm way, way, way more confident. There was no need to do that. I was thinking it was a move, but I don't think there was any need. I think an F5 realistically solves a lot of your problems. You cut off the support from my rook here. Yes, you can do that, but then... whoa, okay. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I mean, we'll continue our plan. D2, try secure those pawns and launch a counterattack. They still have the dark squares holes, and yes, we don't have much that can infiltrate on those dark squares, but they can't hit. They can't hit some of ours, and it's a bit risky. It's a bit risky. the exchange when you're so few on pawns, you know, because if they're up on pawns against you, they have a clear plan and you don't. Especially if you're only up the exchange. Because let's say these all get traded off for equal trades. The bishop versus the rook, I think technically it could be a draw. Ooh, I don't like that. Technically it could be a draw, but it's super, super hard. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm capable of it. Of getting the win. So, then we're left with, I have 3 pawns. They have 5 pawns. So, you know, it's more complicated than it looks. Why can't I just go rook d1? I think I can. With the idea of rook to d8, with potentially some mating threats because the queen's awkwardly placed. At worst, like winning the queen, you know. And that's a serious, serious threat because if they allow us to take, it's probably fine actually after queen takes, you know. So, I mean, the worst thing they could do is take back. So if you just let us take, but then again, like we get the rook on d8, on d7, and things are looking quite nice. Quite nice. And I'm unsure what their reasoning was behind doing the exchange, to be honest. Was it just they had no other plan? Or was it something they thought tactically worked? I'm not quite sure. Because after bishop a2, like we just go a3. All of a sudden, they're not taking back this pawn, and we're significantly more happy. You know, so do we want to play b3 and limit the bishop's squares? Or do we want to play a3, stick our pawns on dark squares so they can't be attacked? That's the question. And to be honest, I'm not sure. I'm very much not sure. Yeah, not sure at all. Or we could do something wild and go for queen a3. Queen a3, what a move. Defending the pawn, hitting a7, also potentially thinking about queen takes f8, looking to trade off the queen and the rooks to go into an exchange up endgame. Equal pawns. No, down 1 pawn. Whew. I think that's quite a nice idea, to be fair. So the whole point is we hit a7. They do an a5 or something. Bishop, queen takes f8. If king takes, yeah, king takes is actually the way to go there. King takes is the way to go, so it doesn't quite work, unfortunately. So maybe even a rook e1 then could work. No, but then the rooks aren't doubled. No, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Unfortunate, I think is the word there. Very, very unfortunate. If king takes, yeah, queen takes would be different. Would be good for us, I think. Rook there. We pin the queen to the king. Queen takes. Rook takes. With check, king moves up, and then we just go to b8, I guess. b5, and we can play like this. Why are we still thinking about that? I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think it works. Very unfortunate. I still think queen a3 is a decent move. Maybe rook d8. Maybe rook d8. Because you're threatening to just win the rook. So rook takes, rook takes. Check, king up. And then I'm not sure, to be honest. Not quite sure. b3, I think is probably the way to go, to be honest. Oh, and we want to try get their pawns on dark squares. That's what I think we want. If we want to try win this, we want to get their pawns on dark squares, so their bishop can't actually defend them. Then we keep going with a4. And we're just trying to limit the squares this bishop can go to, which would only help us, I think. And then we're free to go rook d7, hit this once the bishop's retreated, which just wins us a pawn, I'm pretty sure. They could go rook a8, but then we trade off, which can only be good. They go there. That's interesting. Still just a rook d6, I think. Same idea. Rook over. Oh, then we have rook c1. Rook over, rook c1. And they don't have... Yeah, they don't have any tricks with the queen coming in because we would just... Yeah. So, there. Rook c8. Rook c1. Bishop back. Rook takes rook. Bishop takes rook. Check. We just win the bishop. Yeah. That works, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. That's how confident I am. And they've only got a minute left, so they spent 6 minutes 15 seconds on that one move, which is wild. You know I spend a lot of time on my moves, but that is crazy. Yeah, and then we just go ahead and hit these pawns however we have to. Yep. And then rook d7. Yeah, rook d7 I think just works. And this is pretty easy, I think. Once we get this pawn, we have a clear plan. We want to try win this as well because they can't push this. And you see the power of keeping them on the dark squares. And I get confused a lot when I'm playing against bishops, because I don't know what color to put my pawns on. You know, do you want to make it so they can't be attacked, or do you want to make it so their pawns can't be defended? You know, that's the question. I think I can just take this. I don't see why I can't. And their bishop's looking not too healthy. Not too healthy at all. We've got like a queen takes. Covering that. The rooks can not cover each other actually. But they still can't be hit. Do we take this pawn? Their queen could come in somewhere, I guess. I think we've got to take the pawn, right? There's no reason not to. Queen b2. Rook a4. Bishop there is really annoying, actually. Then rook b7. I think we can take the pawn. Surely we can. It gives them a bit of counterplay, but the double connected pawns it's nothing to to whine about, you know. It's perfectly playable. Perfectly playable. I think we would be stupid to say no to double connected pawns, you know, especially in exchange up. Be pretty stupid to not. Ooh, cheeky. Okay. Let's go f1. No. F1 bishop there. Let's go e1. E1 queen e3 is safe. And then we even have some potential checks if the rook comes out. Where's that queen going? Yeah, I just sit here now. Threaten to trade off queens. We get the rook on b7. And then push these pawns. I think it's fine. I think we're fine. Whoo! Wowzer. Yeah, so they're trying for little tricks, I think. We just play solid. I don't see why we can't just play solid. Even a b4 could work. Everything's covered. b4 I think works. Literally everything's covered. Yeah. Then b5. We can keep pushing. What are you trying there? Not quite sure, to be honest. a5. a5 we can do. You know, everything's on dark squares. You know, we've got no pieces that can be hit. All our pawns are covered. Everything's just good. Everything's just good. We even have ideas of rook takes f7 would be nice if we ever get a break. What are you trying there? Not quite sure. Okay. Am I worried about that? Not particularly. Let's play that. Stopping the any rook d2 ideas, which was annoying. Everything's still covered. Everything's still covered. Playing solid. We're down a bit on the clock, but that's fine. I think we have to block that, unfortunately. Oh, they have checked now. No, but then queen blocks again. Oh, we've not given them a perpetual, have we? I hope not. That wouldn't be nice. I think we might have done. Ooh. Think we might have done. There. Back. Is really annoying. Oh, we slipped up a bit there. Ooh. Unless we sack the rook. Unless we sack the rook. Depends how confident we are in these pawns. Depends how confident we are in the pawns. Alternatively, we go... yeah. Ooh. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Surely nothing bad can happen by declining a draw. Surely nothing bad can happen at all. Oh, gosh. What is that doing? We take? The whole idea is rook takes, we get this rook. If they aren't careful. Which hopefully they're not. Hopefully they are not. A bit of flagging as well. Cheeky stuff, cheeky tactics. We have rook blocks. And we're in a queen versus queen endgame. Hopefully not a losing one. Hopefully not a losing one. They're going for checks rather than for pawns, which is dubious. Very dubious. Is the pass pawn enough? They get this one if they need it. I think they need it. Oh, sketchy stuff. coming from my friend here. Very sketchy stuff. So we start giving checks now. We start giving checks. Ideally, we give enough checks to trade off queens with this passer, and we pick up these two. That's the big idea. I think they can weave in and out of these pawns though, which is annoying. There wins. Okay, yeah, you're smart about it. You're smart about it, pal. I see you. Okay, we gotta try wiggle something out of this. Unfortunately, I don't know if we can. So we could go back, cover the pawn, and just try survive checks that way. Ooh, is that giving us stuff? Is that giving us stuff? Checks this way, win these pawns. Oh, this is sketchy. This has gone so south so quickly. We keep checking. Ooh. Nice. There's no more checks here. Queen's annoyingly covering that. So we'll just cover our pawn, I guess. Stop any diagonal checks coming in. We move up and try barricade ourselves with some pawns. We don't want to do anything too rash. Nothing too dangerous. Go there, and we're looking to block the check here, and I think that's probably drawn. Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Nothing quite yet, and they've got their time back now, so this is probably going to end up in a draw, unfortunately. We can't go up because they have checkmate, so we have to stay here, and we can't go back to G1. We can't go back to G1 because that's going to be mate on E1, which is crazy. So we have to keep dancing the dance. We have to keep dancing the dance. Hope that they slip up somehow. oh, I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's probably a draw, which is, I think, a fair result for this game because they were completely winning. Then we were completely winning as well. We could try go this way. And give them the G pawn. That's crazy. It would not be with check though. Oh gosh, this is gonna need some proper calculation. This is absolutely wild. I dislike queen endgames a lot. Sure, why not? If we lose, we lose. It's just a game. And we probably should have lost this game anyway, to be fair. So we'll risk it for a biscuit, and we'll try the whole promotion thing. They go for it, and why wouldn't they? So we'll go there, look for this. Ideally, they step on a light square here. That would be the dream. They don't. They're smart about it. They know. We'll keep checking, why not? I wonder if we can force them onto a light square here. Because we still have Queen A8. fact, I think king g4 is good here, at which point I probably just have to push the pawn. They go that way. That's interesting. There, king up. Check again. Repeat. I'll go down here. Probably down here, right? And we repeat this way. I'm probably just going in for a repetition here. It's safer than nothing. Safer than nothing. We will go. Oh, yeah. We'll go f7. If we go this way, we don't have any checks from g4, so we need the queen to cover this pawn. There, we repeat that way. There, we repeat this way. So let's try this way. We'll see if we can go queen g3. I don't really want to give up the checks though. It gives them too much time. Step on a light square. Ah, fair enough. That being said, can we force off the queens this way and win this way? Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think we can, unfortunately. I think they can avoid it. Then again, 30 seconds on the clock. We can. Takes, queen takes, king takes. Push, push. Oh, we win. We win. We win. Haha! Surely we win that. Surely. The passer is too strong. Oh my gosh. The pass pawn's too strong because they have to pick up the H pawn first. And our king's too close as well if they try to push this one. Yes! Wow. Beautiful. Oh, wow. I don't know how we managed to get that one. I'm not going to lie. 72 moves. 72 moves. They're going for it. Fair enough. It's important to note these pawns are not the ones you can draw on either. So, we're all chilling. We got queen g2 there. King's completely cut off. Resigns. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. I love and hate this game. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. Oh, 83.4 versus 81.1. They had two brilliant moves, which is crazy. Two brilliant moves. What's the accuracies? 2100 versus 2000. And it's a complete roller coaster. Complete roller coaster. So, here we have the dragon. We played c3. Keep developing. Apparently e5 here is the winning move. 1.8 here for white. So e5 is the way to go. And why is that? Knight g8 and then you're just way behind on development. Knight g4, h3, knight h6. Yeah, you're getting messed around. I'll remember that for next time. That makes a lot of sense. Lot of sense. We missed this. They missed that again. They saw it. Then we did that. Apparently we go back and take it that way. I don't know why. Just to keep the bishops on the board, I guess. Similar to the Italian when this happens. We should have played d5 here, but then again, it's only minus 0.6, so it's not particularly terrible. And then it's minus 0.9 here, so it's about a pawn difference, you know. Apparently queen f3 is the way to go here. I'm not sure why at all queen f3 works. Bishop, I guess it's just an activity sort of thing. They give up this pawn for some reason. I don't know what else there is. h5, bishop f4. Yeah, I guess it's just an activity thing. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, we played this. Apparently you don't throw in their h6 idea first. You just take the knight and you play for the isolated pawn. So you probably get it back and it's just drawing. Bishop to f2 is another brilliant move. Wow. They get the bishop. I didn't see that at all, to be fair. So good for them. They deserve that one. And this is winning for black. It's 1.1, so I would say this is probably winning here. Then again, you know, we saw how tricky it actually was to play. And here, it's dead drawing. Dead drawing. That's the mistake. Bishop a6 is the way to go. Oops. Where are we? Bishop a6 is the way to go, and I would have played this, to be fair. Bishop a6, then what do? Knight f6 check. And not knight, rook h3. Rook d1 check. Yeah, that'll do it. And you're losing this knight as well. What was my other idea? See, I would have gone f4 straight away. I think I said. But then the check comes. Yeah, I didn't calculate that at all, to be fair. Queen h6. Yeah, it looks a bit nasty. Fair enough. I'm glad they didn't do that then. And it's still a drawing-ish position. It's 0.6 for white. But and they did. The thing is, they didn't capitalize on the pawns when they should have. They got, I guess, worried about trading off rooks or something. And they didn't cash in on the pawns. You know, they wanted a better bishop, which is understandable. But I sort out that queenside pawn structure, and it's just way better for me. I get so many tempos with my rooks and stuff. I pick up both the pawns, and I'm perfectly fine picking up that b pawn as well. I try to trade things off, push the pawns as much as I can. And then this, I slipped up here. I completely slipped up here into a draw. Completely slipped up with rook e2. I was, what did I have? 45 seconds. I was panicking a bit. I will say I was panicking a bit. Yeah, apparently queen e5 is the way to go. Queen e5 is the way to go. Where are we? Rook e2. Queen e5 is the best move. Yeah, and you're still covering all the checks from the queen as well. Queen e5. Queen g5. Oh, hitting the rook. Checks. And you give up a pawn apparently. So I thought I might have to give up the pawn at some point. But yeah. I mean, I just completely missed the drawing chances they had, which is, I mean, good for them. You know, good for them for seeing that. Because I definitely didn't at all. And they did exactly the right thing as well. Exactly the right thing. And this is losing. So this is 3.2 for black going up. And they just missed it, I guess. You throw in the rook check, so I don't have anything else. Yeah. It's still completely winning for black, apparently. Yeah. And you can throw in the rook check anytime, and that's what does it. I'm just down a rook at that point. There's nothing I can do. Fair enough. And then this is just going to be a complete roller coaster. I'm sure this would all be drawing. Even though it says 1.4, I don't think that's going to be enough to actually win the game. We keep shuffling, and they got greedy here and took the pawn. And it's saying that's the best move, but I'm sure you can just keep throwing in checks and guarantee the draw. And that's the thing I think about playing queen versus queen endgames. If you're unsure, go for the draw directly. Don't trade off into unknown positions. And I keep giving checks here, just hoping they make a mistake. At which point they did, you know, and it's such a simple slip up to make. But just realizing I can trade off queens. And granted, 35 seconds on the clock, you know, it's not easy. But the pass pawn's too strong. and then queen g2 completely cuts off the king from ever defending this pawn, and it's just game over. But that's wild. And I feel kind of bad. That's a bit of a swindle. I feel kind of bad for the guy. They outplayed me in every aspect of the game. To be honest, I got lucky. Sometimes that's part of the game, is getting lucky. But anyway, wow. Next game could potentially be the 1800 game. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I know it's been a long episode. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.